Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Supernatural and Beyond. And once again, I'm Tony Wilson, and this is my good friend and co-host, Adrian Wright. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm great, Tony. I'm excited to be here with you. I'm excited to be here with our viewers and listeners, and just to share a brief history of time and space.
This is such a vast topic to try to cover in such a short period of time, so we want to break it off into bite-sized pieces. As you can see right here, there's tons of resources and information that we can go through. They would take hours to lay out in an educational or academic setting. That's not what the purpose is here today.
Yeah.
Today we're here to just share some information and some ideas with you.
Yes, and we want to keep it fun and interesting at the same time. So,
exactly.
You know.
So let's just jump right into it.
Right into it.
All right. Now, in the scriptures, the holy text, there is a very famous saying, and that saying is, in the beginning, God, and depending on what version you read, different names for God, created the heavens and the earth.
Right.
Okay, so that's Genesis 1, verse 1. All right. In the second verse, it said the earth was a waste and a void. And to me, that doesn't really make sense. Why would you create something only to be in a mess? Have you found that to be true, or?
Well, my research, I have found, like when, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and out of the creation, the earth was formed without shape, and it was kind of formed empty. So from my understanding and my research, as it was created, it was without form and it was void. It was empty.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm doing my research in the ancient Hebrew. There's a word. Now, I'm not very good at Hebrew.
Yeah, I butcher words too. All the time.
I'm not even going to try to explain the word, but the word that is used there, it says, and the earth became a waste and a void, which is a lot different from the world was void and without form.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but with my research too, I also looked at the Hebrew, and it looked like the word that I found, the translation that I found, was with. Mm-hmm. When the earth was created, it was without void. Without form, and it was void. So it was created into, without form and without void. And then the next few days of creation, God formed the land, he formed the water, he divided it, Mm-hmm. Well, so that was my understanding.
Well, yeah, that's why we're doing this podcast, is so that we will be able to, explore some of those different ideas. A lot of languages have one word will have several different meanings. Right. We being born in a Western mindset, we've kind of got one word, one meaning, but in other cultures, did you know that in amongst the Eskimos, there's like 173 versions for the word snow?
No, I didn't know that, but for Eskimos, they live in the snow.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So bringing all of this together, as I understand it from my research, that the world became a waste and a void. Okay. Now, what I believe happened, again, based on some of the research and some of the legends throughout the world from different cultures, that there was what I like to refer to as when God created the heavens and the earth, there were what I call celestial beings. We use the word angels a lot. Right. Again, that's one of those words that has different meanings, and one of the meanings is messenger.
Right. And what I found is with, angels or messengers, is it wasn't just one type. What I found was there was many different types.
Many different, chorus of angels, right.
Right, and they're even, some of them are even named, but I feel like there's maybe thousands of different types.
Without going too far on a rabbit trail, I have experienced the multitude of what I like to say call celestial beings, which is why I call them celestial beings, that were created, that were not and have not been mentioned in written form. However, through different experiences, you're shown these things so that you'll get a better understanding.
Supernatural experiences.
There you go. I like that. Yeah. Supernatural experiences. So that being said, what I believe happened, there are other in other parts of the scriptures, I'm talking about the Bible, there was a time when the rebellious cherub, that's one of the courses of the angels,
Right.
rebelled against the Creator.
Right.
Now, we know that that rebellious cherub was Satan himself.
Right. That's
And-
what I heard. That's my research.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
good. So we're connecting on a lot of different points here. What happened was when he got kicked out of heaven, well, I should say before he got kicked out of heaven, he came to the celestial beings that were actually occupying the earth before mankind showed up. Then he talked him into believing that he could overthrow the creator of heaven and earth. I don't know where he got that idea, but hey, what are you going to do?
This is very good information, and I'm glad you're sharing this because I'm starting to see it from your point of view. And basically, my question is: you're saying that these beings, like, they're kind of supernatural. They are supernatural,
Right.
But from my understanding, they exist in like what I would call a spiritual realm, which is outside of a physical realm.
Outside our time and space continuum.
Exactly.
Yes.
But would you say that these spiritual beings from the beginning, angels, what have you,
Yes.
would have been on the earth and occupying the physical realm of the earth? And that was even before man. That's what you're saying, basically?
No, basically, that's exactly what I'm saying. Again,
That's interesting. Yeah.
based on my research,
Right.
and that information is changing constantly. The more that I read, the more that's being added to, and I've had to actually change my paradigm as to, okay, well, I used to believe it was like this, but based on this information,
Right.
now I have to make a shift or stay in the path that may not be the most accurate.
Right.
I'm striving for accuracy.
Yeah, me too. And from my understanding, I haven't actually, from my research too, I haven't actually thought about them or even looked into them being on the physical earth. From my understanding, they were, before time was even created. They were with the Creator because they were created first. Before
Right, exactly.
Before I would say time, space, and matter was created, they were there. And I feel like that that by the time that mankind, our species, was created, that's what caused that fallen one, the leader of all the
Satan,
fallen ones, Satan,
yeah.
Satan himself. I feel like he got jealous. And I think the book of Enoch refers even to that jealousy, is that's when he got mad because humans were originally created to have dominion over even those beings. And so we were supposed to be closer to the Creator than he was. And he was like number one in charge of worship in heaven, worship of the Creator, and then we came around. And then this guy, or not guy, but this being got really upset at the human race. And then he started his rebellion.
Well, that's exactly it.
Okay, yeah.
So we're on the same page, and a lot of the research again will show and bear out that Satan did in fact get jealous, and that's why when we skip ahead to Genesis chapter 3, the fall of humankind or mankind, it shows him actually tempting or trying to persuade God's creation into rebelling with him. They were given one instruction: do not eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
And that was the one thing that he kept pushing because he wanted to push the rebellion or the disobedience.
Right. That is just so interesting, and everything we're putting together and bringing forth. I'm glad because it does cover a great history of, the beginning of time and space and everything. And it's just such a good introduction and just such good information for the supernatural and beyond. And we just want to welcome our viewers and our listeners to continue to follow us, hit that thumbs up button, and subscribe, leave a comment below, and join us next time, please, for the supernatural and beyond.